Okay. So, the question for this week will be... Ooh, I have a couple choices here, but I'll go with this one. Does your character have any tattoos or other markings on their body? How and why did they get them? So I will start first with, I think one of the easier people here for tattoos and markings. We'll go with Backara.
Yeah, I mean, he does have two like full leg tattoos. Each of indigenous creatures to the homeland. He's like a spiral of indigenous creatures that rolls up his leg, and not similar on the other side. And then of course he has the newfound shark mark, as well as well, like he has some scarring, I assume, left over still from the shotgun blast that he had taken in the past. But other than that, no tattoos on the upper half.
Awesome. What about Marcel?
I don't think he has any tattoos. I will say, like, he grew up on the streets, and so he probably has scars from getting stabbed or maybe slashed at a couple times. Let's say he's missing a part of his ear. Like, it's like chopped off at the top by like dodging out of the way of like someone's knife.
That's cool.
But he got adopted pretty early on by Jude, and so he was off the street before, you know, he was too far into guild life.
Awesome. And Lilyheart?
I was originally going to say no, but looking at this character art, it looks like he has tattoos going down his neck in the front.
That is true.
So yeah, I'm going to go with yes. They're mainly just, you know, like geometric shapes, circles. Kind of maybe just like one of those weird things where it's like a way to pass the time sort of thing. Although growing up in like a rather poor area, you know, it's like one of those classic, I mean, I'm sure in this setting they would all be this type of needle. The ones where you just like tap it a bunch of times on the, ooh, it sounds so painful.
Brutal.
Definitely got an infection from that. And then other markings, yeah, he has like a big scar on his mouth now from that first fight against the like the corpse, like the crab thing.
Oh yeah,
the hell that thing's called.
Yeah, he lost some teeth to that if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's becoming one ugly motherfucker.
Just all the front teeth missing.
I need to start doing a whistle.
Brutal. All right. We're going to start in a very interesting situation here. I have no idea how this is going to resolve. I don't know if you watched the episode, Ryan, but Marcel ended up killing Emathla, the mask maker, who is the previous
what?
host of the Fireholder. So this could jeopardize your relationship with the tribe based on how they react to what happened.
Wait, how did we get from that to killing the Fireholder?
Yeah,
I will figure.
We're still asleep, by the way, Ryan. We're both sick and asleep.
That is true.
Dying.
Basically,
how do I go from helping people scrape meat off animals to killing the fire stoker? What?
Well, I promise you, it's not what you think.
You're just what is as close to a corpse as could be.
Yeah, you and Lilyheart are both still reeling from this sickness. Devarse basically him and Backara both went to this spirit shrine that you guys heard about previously. It was hinted at that members of the tribe could use their ancestral spirits to conjure what appears like magical effects or supernatural effects in this world. And so Backara and Devars both pursued that, and each contract that you make with one of these spirits has a price. So
I knew it. I saw him pop up on roll 20 first.
no way.
Let's get
Before he came in.
Yo, no way.
I don't have my camera. I'm on my PC.
That's
but
okay. That's
Let's
okay.
go, dude.
I made it. Got home a little early.
Let's go, dude. Oh man,
humongous.
amazing. Perfect timing. We were just summarizing the session last time for Ryan. But yeah, Devars ended up at his contract with this spirit called the Fireholder, which would allow him to control fire, was like, I need you to burn the previous holder of my contract, which was the very man that led them both to the spirit shrine and taught
Actually,
Devars
an
about
awful
this.
human being, by the way.
That's
Yeah,
how-
it was
that's how he
later
copes.
discovered that he had a bunch of illicit documents.
But yeah, so very interesting situation. I'm glad that you're here now, Vinny, because this is going to make things that much more interesting.
Perfect.
But yeah, we're going to start just immediately where we left off. You both come out of this drug trip that you've been on that's lasted 4 hours now. You've both completed your rituals to contact these spirits in the spirit world through your mind, through the psychoactive chemical. And now, Backara, you see Devars standing nearby. His hands are trembling. And you see something in his eyes that you haven't seen before. There's this desperation and maybe even a tint of madness. And you see just beyond where this shrine ends and the forest begins, there's this massive pit of charred and blackened bones, bits of wood, and what looks like heavily burnt human remains. And you can smell it too. It smells foul.
And this is like clearly multiple bodies.
No, it's just one.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a really big pit.
But I mean, from Backara's perspective, like, he might not connect Devars in this happening. He may connect them.
Yeah. Devos, are you all right?
So is this... Where do we leave off, like, in terms of, like, the ritual and, like, time of day right now?
Yeah, so right now, it is closing in on 2 p.m. Funny enough, if you remember the session before last, you had the almanac and you predicted it was going to start raining. And midway through the day, it starts to rain in heavy sheets. You see that, like, charnel pit starts to fill with water, and, like, blackened soot starts to pollute these waters. But yeah, it's raining and it's 2 p.m.
And how long ago, like, was the ritual? Like, have the effects worn off? Like, have we got a night's rest, or like, it's next day?
No, it's you guys set out
Are we...
at 6 a.m. You made it to the spirit shrine by 10 a.m. The ritual lasted from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Essentially, like, a lot of things in this game, like, duration can be like a watch. So that's 4 hours.
And now it's like a new watch?
Yeah, so the effects of the drug last a watch, which is 4 hours.
Okay.
And then you guys are more or less sober now. And you come to in quite a sobering scene.
Wow, I had a very intense ritual. I'm still taking it in, honestly.
And, 'cause, I also had a few rituals, but where did the person you came here go?
Well, it was craziest thing. I don't know if you saw any of the ritual. A lot happened, and
No, I did not. I was performing rituals myself.
he spoke to me. This fire deity.
Okay.
It was. I can't begin to explain it, but I guess he spoke to the shaman too. What was his name? Emathla.
Emathla.
Amalfa too. And well, I don't know what he told him, but he got up and he walked right into the fire. And he burned to death and died. And it was I can't explain it. I don't know. And I thought I was tripping out. I thought I was hallucinating the drugs, but that's what I saw.
He did not tell you why he was doing it.
He didn't say anything. He just had this crazed look in his eyes, but he was also in the ritual. So
Backara, roll a willpower save to see if you believe him.
oh wow.
Damn. Wow. You know very clearly that he's lying. And that
Dude, can I pick up with that he picks up on? Can I like notice?
yeah, roll
his,
a willpower save as well.
I was gonna say, let me roll this out, Denny. Don't worry.
No, you have no idea. And you know
You're acting kind of
Backara.
sus, bro.
You know Backara without a shadow of a doubt that he is both lying, and he likely killed Emathla in some part of his ritual.
Now, I was not there. I was not paying attention to what you were doing. I know that you were in a ritual, and I know he was guiding you through it. Now, I do not know how the village will respond to this sort of information. So let us get our story straight. He and you performed a ritual, and
And
this
he gave me this.
fire deity. I'm telling you what I'm going to tell them if anybody asks me, just so you have the exact same story as me.
The sap, the hallucinogenic sap.
Yes, you both took the sap. The fire deity or whatever told both of you that there was only one way for you to receive the blessings. And what was the guy's name again?
Emathla.
And Emathla, understanding as he was one who received the powers in the past, decided to throw himself onto the fire to bequeath unto you the powers of the fire deity. Sound good?
Maybe.
Yeah, let's go with that. Tell them that if anyone asks, and I will also tell them that if anyone asks. But if they don't, I don't think we need to discuss.
All right. I guess. I mean, DeMarsh is totally convinced. Like he doesn't think. I don't like. He doesn't. He's like, okay.
Now,
He thinks,
tell me
like-
about these blessings that you received from this fire deity.
Did I get it, actually? Oh. Do we have any, is there any fire nearby?
Yeah, some of the well, actually no, now because it's raining. all the embers have been put out. There's like smoke rising from this charnel pit.
I don't think there's any. Fire manipulation. And I mean, I'm only a novice, but I can make I can play with fire a little bit. What were you on the island for? Or what were you getting up to?
And I look over at my patch of shark skin. I have made some sort of deal with Sawtooth Sakusi. He has graced me with a blessing, and I have leaned into it, if you will. And I will take the bestial form to grow my shark-like teeth. Just to, briefly show him what I've got going on.
Okay. So this is gonna last a watch. So 4 hours. You can manifest these teeth and they become an additional weapon for you. And you see Devars just this horrific scene of like Backara opens his mouth and it almost opens unnaturally wide, and you see within all these shark teeth begin to grow out of this pink flesh. And he now has you see it's partially his skin and partially a shark skin.
What? Was it always like this, or did it move up his arm from the shark arm?
Oh no, this is separate. This appears like something separate entirely. Like he's grown these shark teeth, this maw that's separated from his own. Yeah, it's wild.
And I can retract them. I can retract them at will as well.
Yeah, the teeth fall out, and you can give them as tokens to warriors. They're viewed as sacred objects.
Yeah, so I'll actually give Devars one for your trial against the shaman. give him one of the shark teeth.
Oh, cool.
And beyond that, I guess I can show you as well. And can I do the Gambit Repel with Fairwind? Just try to give him a little pushback with wind.
Yeah, so first you're going to roll a willpower save to see if your powers are exhausted for the day.
Oh, fair.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, he retracts the teeth in. Are you going to try to knock Devars back?
Well, you said there's no flames. That was going to be my go-to, but you said there's no fire going on, so I can't blow out the flames.
Yeah, I mean, you could potentially there's other uses of that ability too. You could just send a gust of wind into the trees, or something. It's essentially a strong gust of wind. So there's other ways you could demonstrate that, I suppose.
Can I fart and gust away those toxic fumes?
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's that or slightly hurt Devars, so...
Well, it won't actually hurt him. It'll just, force him to the ground.
Oh, alright.
And he did nothing wrong.
I'll just push you with some wind.
You just smell this foul odor.
Oh!
And then it clears up.
The Wooburn odor.
The Wooburn odor. No, so Backara just essentially casts his hands forward towards you, almost like he's throwing something at you. And you fall to the ground instantly, as though this, like, gale of wind just hits you in the chest and causes you to fly backwards, like 5 or 10 feet onto the ground.
Ah!
So, yes, I guess I got that as well.
That was cool.
And why don't you roll another willpower save? Let's see if you exhausted it yet.
Ah,
Oh.
Yep. So yeah, what would you two like to do? You could try to head back to the village immediately. You could try to come back a little bit later. What's the play?
well, I am all set here. I have learned what I came here to learn. I do not know about you.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'd like to go and find another sort of artifact to give to the Captain Corremos or
Captain Corremo, yes.
Yeah. I want to go hunting for treasure.
Have you looked around this sanctuary or ritual grounds for anything?
No. I didn't think of that.
Well, perhaps we should start here, see what we can come across. And then we will be debt-free to him, correct?
I believe that was the deal we had arranged.
All right. Might as well while we are here.
Okay. I'm gonna say you guys see around there's a lot of offerings to these spirits. It is possible to try to loot things from here, but you both know, having contracts with spirits, that it could incur the wrath of some of these spirits to take from the sanctuary. That being said,
Wait.
it could be a risk you guys are willing to take, but if you're declared to be anathema by any given spirit, that has its own potentially negative consequences.
What does that mean?
It's
You're like,
if a
it's like a
greater
bad mark.
yeah, if you're declared anathema by a spirit, it's really bad. If that happens with a lesser spirit, it's not as bad, but they could still try to harm you in the living world. A greater spirit, if they declare you anathema, can essentially prevent you from making new contracts with spirits, because they have
Wow.
they have sway over the rest, having stronger egos. So yeah, I mean, there's significant cost to it. But that being said, there are also hexes around that you guys haven't explored yet. You could also try to obtain something in the village as part of the trade and commodities there.
I don't have a lot to trade.
But it's up to you guys. Whatever you guys want to do.
Well, it may be a bad idea to steal from here, so perhaps
I wouldn't
can...
want to disgrace the ritual ground.
Yes, perhaps we can go... looking on our way back towards the village?
And then out the other side if we have to.
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's get going.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to make a few rolls on a few tables that I have.
I do to leave it like 6, by the way.
Sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Okay. As you're heading back to the Isle of Sega, you see boot prints in the sand leading around the camp and heading to the northeast towards the church. You know that boot prints are very odd for the Haina, and they look to be similar to that of the boots of the hunters you encountered in the church.
Hunter?
And as they start to fill with water, you gather... Were these hunters scouting the island? Why are there boot prints in the sand? They're very faint, but that is what you discover on your way back. You don't discover any, like, arcana or anything of that nature that really stands out to you.
So sorry, we found that like it led to their bodies or just the boots? Prints?
No, boot prints leading across the sand. It's like barely visible at this point. But you gather they might have been there since like the night previous, and they're just being filled by water.
Do you want to try to follow these? Perhaps they could have something on them. Perhaps they have already perished. The island is quite dangerous.
Yeah, let's go investigate this trail of footprints.
Okay. You follow this trail. You see it is 3 separate sets of footprints that join along the tree line. Like one of them came out to the beach, looked at the island, and continued back to the tree line. And you see it's picked up with the paw prints of dogs. 2 dogs. You gather this was the whole group that you saw in the church that was scouting out the island from a distance. And I'll have you roll a willpower save, Backara, because I think logically you could put some pieces together here.
All right, let's do it. Put pieces together.
You put some pieces together. You gather those hunters might have not entirely receded when you encountered them at night. Instead, they might have waited until you left the church and followed you at a distance. And perhaps they discovered the location of the island from following you and continued back to where they were from. Heading through to the church, you see the footprints are like fresher here. And they seem to lead directly east to a hex you haven't discovered before. You remember him saying in the church that the place they live, or the base of their faction, is called the House of the Last Hopes. And he told you that's where it was. But it seems like these footprints lead there.
And we've already cleared the church out, right?
Yeah, but just from the amount of traveling now, it's nearing 6 p.m. The sun is starting to set.
Okay. Well, Devos, we may need to stay here tonight. It is more dangerous in the dark. So I guess I'm gonna try to go into the church, and then if I can go up as high as possible in the church and try to like scout sort of the path that they may have taken to get over to that other hex.
Yeah.
Like I assume if they've been here more than once, they have kind of either trampled down a little bit of vegetation or something, or at least have figured out a quote-unquote safer path back and forth.
Yeah, you get up to the steeple, and you see that they have carved out what appears like a hunter's path that leads from the church directly east. It's hard to tell what lies beyond the forest, but just being so high up in the church, you see the tree line ends about 3 miles into the next hex, and then another beach begins, and then it's just interrupted by waves. You can actually see the coast and the waters of the ocean standing on top of this steeple. So you gather like you've reached the eastern extremity of the island in this hex to the east of you.
Cool.
And you know what? Just for fun, from this distance, you see there is this rock jetty that is protruding out from the island for what looks like a half a mile into the water, but it appears to be like out of use. Maybe at one point, like ships came in and docked there and tied up, but it does not appear to be in use at all. It appears dilapidated and decrepit.
All right.
But that is miles into the distance. It's like this very faint shape.
Okay. Well, Devas, I do not know what more we would be able to do tonight, but we certainly do need to find an artifact soon if we want to stay in the good graces of, what's his face there?
Captain Corremo
Captain Corremo.
of Gandalus.
Right. Cool name. But tonight there is, I assume, not much more we can do unless this place has a basement we didn't know about.
Nope.
No.
I guess I'll take a rest unless you got any other ideas.
No, I probably should call it a night and set out tomorrow back.
Okay. Before I, well, actually, you know what? We'll keep going because you're going to have to leave shortly. So I'm going to make a roll again on one of these tables. There's a certain chance things can happen while you're traveling between hexes and you can encounter different things. So I want to make a roll.
So just like next day?
No, this is just the next watch. So from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, it's anytime you guys are out in the wilderness during a watch, there's a chance that people will come across you.
Even if we're like boarded up in the church or whatever.
Yeah, they might just
People
not
with
like
magic artifacts.
they might not like find you, but you could come across them or
You might find them.
and okay, something did happen. So I'm going to make another roll. Okay. From 6 to 10 p.m., both of you are sort of settling down into the church, and you hear this, like, barely audible, like, groaning sound coming from the woods around you. And you see 6 figures appear from the wood line and start to inhabit near the church. They appear to be wearing like ragged clothes, caked in like mud and water from the rain. They appear at first like they may not be taking care of themselves because there's like dirt between their nails, and their skin appears pale. But gazing upon them for like just a few moments longer, you see that they resemble that thing you encountered in that coffin. You see they appear to be like dead, yet still walking, still living. Some of them bear like simple like bill hooks, like they were farmers. Some of them bear like knives. Some of them have like just vestments on and just their nails. And they're just like lumbering around like they're looking for something. Doesn't seem like they've noticed you.
I'll whisper to Devars. I do not think that they will have anything worth our time or our energy.
I think we should just let low and let them pass.
Hopefully they do. Nonetheless, we must be prepared in case they do not. And I'll just
Like-
kind of like ready my equipment of some sort.
Are they like taking a break? Are they moving? Are they walking by? Or like what exactly are they doing right now, Tyler?
What's weird is this whole forest glade you guys find yourselves in is illuminated by moonlight. You see above, the moon is nearly full in the sky. Maybe in just a few days it'll be a full moon. And it seems like they've come here because of that. They all seem to enter this glade and like bask in the moonlight together. They're not really aggressive or necessarily looking for something other than that. You see some of them even like drop their weapons and they're just like moving sort of listlessly, gazing up at the moon.
Perhaps the moon gives them energy, keeps their dead body alive.
But I'm gonna make what in this system is called a luck roll. So I'm gonna reveal this on the hex map so you guys can see it and consult it. So on a 1, it's a crisis. So they like immediately sense you and start attacking you. 2 to 3 is a problem, so maybe they start to move towards the church. And a 4 to 6 is a blessing. Maybe they hear something and start to scatter away. So I'm going to make a roll in the open to see what happens.
Let's go. Also, I have 5 minutes before I have to go.
Sounds good.
Don't leave me to get fucked by these things.
A 4.
No, we're blessed.
That's huge.
That's a blessing.
Oh, man.
That's great.
You hear the sound of birds in the distance, and they start to shamble towards those birds. And they leave this like forest glade and just start to move off in a different direction. We'll say for the sake of it, because this could matter, I'm going to roll to see which direction they go. Because there's quite a few of them. Okay, they start to head to the northeast. So not towards the island or towards where you guys are going. They start to just move away. So you're reaching the point now that one of you, at least, will probably want to start going to sleep while the other keeps watch. So who would like to keep watch first?
I guess I can do it. I did exhaust my ability to use my abilities, but
Sweet. Well, if you need anything, good night. And I go to sleep.
Cool. All right. And we're going to cut from there to Marcel who is tossing and turning in this like reed mat where he's arrayed upon. There's this healer woman that's above you. She has this like dark veil that's painted with eyes on it, and it seems like in the traditional sense she's casting like spells upon you. She's like chanting, weaving her hands in the air.
And I'm waking up to this.
You're sort of half in, half out. It's like a fever state.
Okay.
And in this fever state, I'm gonna have you give me another memory of Marcel's that he wouldn't tell these people that he's with. That they wouldn't know about any other way than us like seeing it on screen if this was a movie. Very private.
I think you see a flashback of him running through the streets before Jude took him in, and you see like very quick scenes that are abruptly switching back and forth, sort of like you're blinking and then you're like maybe 10 minutes forward, and blinking and you're like an hour forward, of him running with
Like a montage.
not a montage, but like sort of like fragmented memories of a girl that was running with him.
Oh shit.
You don't know if it's his sister or if it was a friend, but
Oh.
that's all you get.
Yeah, we just see flashes of this happening. What sorts of activities are they doing? Are they stealing? Are they just
started
moving
with-
together?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. They were playing jacks on the street they were like, it's like sort of a first person FOV of like, you see like from Marcel's view, the girl's talking to a merchant, and you like Marcel like quickly steals a loaf of bread and then runs around the corner, or flash to them running down the street from like the guards or something like that, and then another of them just peacefully eating in like an alley somewhere.
I love that. And it's mysterious at this point still if it's like a close relation or like a love interest like that's never really like breached.
Yeah, they were kids, right? So like you don't really know. You just know that Marcel had hung around this girl more than once, to the point where it's a poignant memory for him.
I love it. Yeah, we see just like flashes of these things happening, maybe like authority figures like coppers in the city of Bastion that come and try to snatch the both of you as you move away, just innocently stealing things from different vendors along the street.
Yeah.
And we cut from there to Lilyheart.
I gotta bounce. You guys have fun. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for
Bye,
coming,
Vinny.
dude.
Hey, buddy.
Later,
Have a good
Benny.
night.
Who also, suffering similarly, is confronted by phantoms from his past. What takes shape in Lilyheart's mind as he is like in the midst of this fever?
So, the first little fever dream that he had was he had just gotten injured during this rebellion that the people of his neighborhood had been conducting, and of course his older brother Anders was there to take care of him. I think we're gonna go backwards in time at this point, although not too far backwards in time, to a scene where it's a conversation between Lilyheart and Anders, where Anders is like really like pissed, frustrated, like storming around, and is so angry about what the underground disposal company like just did. So this is right after the events that led up to the rebellion, and Lilyheart is actually trying his damnedest to get his brother to reconsider and not go through with this.
Anything we do to them, they're going to unfold on us 10 times over. Just think through this, Anders. There are other ways. There are other ways we can get justice.
No, there aren't.
There's only one way we can get justice. And that's through enacting the same violence upon them that they enacted on us. You'd be a
Correct.
fool to think otherwise.
Correct.
You see, he's like, while he's talking to you, he's loading wads into his pistols.
Well, I'm not gonna let you go out there without your brother. If I can't convince you to stop...
And Lilyheart is shaking right now. Not like with anger, so Anders has his fist clenched, and he's clenching it so tightly that he's shaking with anger. And Lilyheart is kind of just shaking in anxiety.
I won't let you do this alone.
I don't want to do it alone. He turns around, you see he's loaded 2 pistols, and he hands you the butt of one. I wouldn't deny the strongest man I know from helping me to fight for a righteous cause like ours. And you look out this like dirtied window. It's like old world. The glass almost looks yellowed from how they used to blow glass back then. And you see hundreds of people gathered with those all flags union pins, and they're just marching down the street. And he says, "Look, Liliard, are we going to meet them with weakness and cowardice? Or are we going to meet them with fury and gunpowder? You tell your brother which side you're taking."
You always knew I'd be by your side.
But is your heart behind it? I can hear your words, but I need that backbone you always have had, but kept hidden. I need your heart behind me.
My heart's screaming right now. I don't know what any of that means.
Then join in the chorus we've all been screaming for some time. Get your pistol and join us on the streets. And he presses the pistol into your chest.
He grabs it, and I feel like in this moment, Anders kind of gets that energy boost and goes, like, storms outside, joins the crowd, like that, and there's just this moment of Lilyheart sitting there, still holding the gun against his chest in the same position his brother pushed it into. His heart is aflutter, but he can't muster up the passion that Anders has.
You head out, and in this huge crowd, you actually lose Anders for the moment, and you get swept up in it. But you see the crowd is confronting these mounted dragoons from the Queen's army that are there with, like, sabers. You see they're being slowly pushed back by this crowd that's pushing them towards this barricade that the military has constructed on the way to this, like, white palace in the distance. and you see the threads of violence beginning to unspool before you. You see like a peasant woman. She has like a rolling pin, and she just hits one of these dragoon's boots as hard as she can. And the dragoon takes his saber and just cuts her throat with it in one swoop. And instantaneously, like 3 or 4 of them are dragged into the crowd. Their armor is ripped off of their bodies. They're stabbed and shanked multiple times. What does Lilyheart do in this moment as you see there is no going back now? This is going to end in violence.
I think he... he kind of saunters or just like lists into out the building and into the crowd, letting him be like pushed around. He's not pushing to get to the front or anything. He's kind of just letting the momentum of this crowd carry him forward. And we all know how this ends up, with Lilyheart being severely wounded. And I think that some added context now would be that in that moment where he's wounded, not but a few feet over from him, where he's like, where his brother had pulled him into the alleyway, is that pistol the brother had given him, and it still hasn't fired off a shot.
And you head in to like a nearby alleyway as things start to really heat up. And you see cowering in the alleyway beside you, there's a young, what looks like infantryman in her Dread Majesty's army. He just has a musket, and he's cowering behind a wall, and he sees you. He looks to be maybe like not just 15, 16 years of age, and he sees you ahead of him, and he levels the musket towards you. There's a long bayonet pointed in your direction. He's like, stay back. I'm telling you. Don't come a step closer, or I'll fire.
Caught up in the screaming crowd, not quite hearing what this young soldier had said to him, I think he takes a free hand and just like steps towards him, putting a hand out in his direction.
No, it's all right.
And I think I know what's happening now.
I told you, stay back. Don't come one step closer, please. He hasn't fired yet, but he's leveling the bayonet towards you. And you're so close now that you could grab the gun from him if you wanted. But what stops you from grabbing the gun?
Are you letting me command the narration a little bit here?
Yeah.
Like 2 revolutionaries kind of come pouring into the alley and essentially sick themselves on him. Although Lilyheart's currently between them and the soldier.
Yeah, maybe you see Anders and Fitz to make it fit with the previous flashback we had. They come in. Maybe we cut to just pure silence as you're approaching this boy, and then the deafening crash of a gunshot as he is shot by Anders from his pistol. And you see Fitz just go over and just like start to pick his pockets. You see him grab his musket and just start to search through his body, but like it all happened so fast. This was like such a young kid, and you're just standing there just watching this as they just without even a second thought. Like, he is a soldier. He is my enemy. And you're having a hard time making that jump with them. You can really only see this kid's humanity as he lays there in a pool of his own blood. And we cut out of there. Back to you just gripping the bed sheets, and above you we see across the healer's face this young kid's face, tending to you, healing you. As we'll cut back to Backara in this church. I'm going to make a roll for the night to see if anything happens to you. You're on watch first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You wake up the next morning. Devars is still with you. And you see fresh boot prints around the church. As if maybe the hunters skirted around and completed another of their missions out in the dark and returned back the same way. They appear to be fresher than the prints you found even the day before. So, what do you do with now that you and Devars have woken up? It's 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hunters were. Did we like talk to them?
Yeah.
Who is their leader again?
Captain Corremo.
Oh, okay. So okay, yeah, gotcha. Sorry, there's a lot of factions. We're not that many, and I just suck.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think there are 2, so far at least.
Maybe it's the anticipation of more.
It's killing me.
It's killing me. Oh, that's a throwback. All right. I don't think I want. How many people does it seem like are with them?
From what you saw, it looks like 3 men and 2 dogs.
Yeah, I don't feel like trying to go after them or anything. So I think Devars and I will probably just try to head back because it's. How long have they been under the treatment for at this point?
Just 2 days.
It's gonna take a full week.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to head back into camp, we're going to initiate a downtime sequence. So, just to sort of speed this up and bring, all the players back into the action here. You guys will make it back to camp, and a downtime sequence is essentially like a week's time. There are a bunch of different things you guys can do over a week. Funny enough, I did not plan this at all. One of the options is called damage control. So you can spend that week trying to negotiate more time for debts so that a faction doesn't take reprisal against you. So if you wanted to choose that as your option, you could attempt to meet Corremo and try to negotiate more time to pay him.
Parlay.
You could attempt to parlay with him.
Because what we owe him by when?
By the end of this week. So it'll be 5 days from now.
What I was, I guess, thinking of doing, now that I've gotten a little more clarity and this shark tooth power.
Yeah.
I was thinking I would go back to the Sons of Sawtooth or whatever they are.
The Sawtooth Sons, yeah.
Sawtooth Sons, close.
Very close.
There's another faction for you, 3.
They're a faction within a faction, yeah.
Yes. And I'm going to try to, I guess, it seems like they're pretty chill with following some of my direction.
Yeah,
But-
I'll also say, as part of your new agreement with Safe, you're granted 2 braves from the Sawtooth Sons that are now your followers.
Oh, perfect.
Funny enough, that that one guy that you approached, that it seemed like he was missing an eye. He is now one of your braves, as well as another younger brave. It appears like they picked an older one and a younger one, perhaps to balance themselves out. But
All right. Do these lads have names?
they do, so you can add them to your sheet.
Yeah.
The older one is called Haklo One Eye. He's like this older Haina, with black, yet, in parts graying hair, very wizened face. And the other one's name is Chido Talks Too Much. He's a younger brave, and he just talks incessantly in their language to anyone who comes up to him, which stands in contrast to Haklo, who just keeps quiet most of the time. I'll put these names in the chat if you want to put them on your sheet.
Yeah, let's see how poorly I attempted it. Benjamin Fitz what? I was off by a couple letters on both.
But those 2 become direct followers, so you can command them. You can send them out to like hexes on your behalf. You can do whatever with them that you would wish.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of, in Semi, an effort to better the tribe, and Semi, an effort to perhaps find us another arcanum to trade, or to, I guess, the bounty that we owe. I was going to try to go out with this bigger group of, I guess, my braves, and if Devarsh wants to come, he's welcome to. If any of the other Sawtooth Sons are interested in, a little extra glory, if you will, that would be, I think, what I would initially try to do, and then perhaps, if it works, we will see if there's a place for Arcanum hunters to be introduced to this society in some respect. I don't know how much of that they have already, but that could be good for our economy,
Yeah, so it's at this point that you stumble across a cultural aspect of the Haina you hadn't previously, i.e., their stance towards Arcana. As soon as you begin to describe these things to them, they denounce them as demon idols. The Haina seem to believe that these objects are descended from a line of demon emperors that lived long ago, after the invention of smithing, and after the world was a conglomerate of hundreds of different tribes of men and beasts. But there was some evil empire that rose, led by a demon emperor, and he created these demon idols. And they expressed to you that anytime the Haina receive an arcanum, they destroy it.
All right.
However, I'll have you roll a d6 for a luck roll, because there is a chance that they have a demon idol that they haven't yet destroyed on the island.
Cool.
Okay. So they do not have any arcana on the island. And there's a lot of hesitation about assisting you in trying to find one.
Is there... I can't remember how we use inspiration in this. Is that an option for me for luck rolls, or no?
Not in this game, But if you want to roll a willpower save to try to convince your 2 men to help you, that's an option. You can try to command their loyalty, essentially.
All right, I might hold off on doing that for now, but if I like want to go hunt it later and want them to come with me, I'll do it later. If that's cool.
Yeah. So we'll say... Well, actually... I'll give you the options available during a downtime, and you can sort of choose which one of these categories you want your stuff to fall into.
Mm-hmm.
So downtime includes the following activities. You can attempt to barter for goods. You can attempt to recruit free hands, which are essentially like mercenaries that you could bring along with you. These can range from all the jobs in the tribe. So you could bring like a bone picker to try to get you more rations. You could bring a fish cleaner. You could bring a sawtooth son with you to try to help with combat. The only thing they ask for in return is a favor. A lot of them have different favors or obligations that they need to see through. There are a couple options that aren't available right now, but will be later in the campaign. So like ship upgrades you could do during this downtime. Mapping you could do during downtime. If you have a ship and you want to take a week to take it around the island, you can map every hex that you see across the exterior of the island. You could farm. That's an option as well. If you establish like a plot of land, you can gain rations at a certain rate per week. You can repair. So if you wanted to repair like an object or a ship. And here are the rest of the options you can do. Damage control. So if you wanted to negotiate more time with Corremo, you could do that. You could do research and investigation, which it's like a certain percentage affected by your willpower score. You could try to find out an enemy's plans, a creature's weakness, the location of a faction hideout, the identity of a faction leader, the value of a treasure, what loot your rival has uncovered, different things like that. You can commission goods. So if there's something you want, you can try to find an artisan to make it for you. Construction. So you can try to make something. If you have a lot of people, it can range from like, something as small as like a raft or a shelter to a fort. Like if you have a community behind you, you can construct a fort in a hex and try to command that hex. There's also negotiations. So you can seek to engage in peace talks and engage in mediation between factions. So if there are two factions that are at war, you can try to bring them together to mediate their conflict. The thing that Marcel and Lilyheart are both doing is called healing and treatment. So if you're suffering from an illness, a healer can remove whatever you're dealing with. So a curse, a parasite, a disease, usually with a cost, but the healer did it for free for them. And that's about it. So if any of those options sounded appealing to you, let me know. I can repeat any part of that. And if something falls outside of the scope of those, like we can talk about that as well.
Cool. All right. I mean, I guess if I don't, it doesn't sound like I would be getting support of the community to go hunting for Arcanum, so I may try to parlay our friend into a perhaps an extra week, as these two are deathly ill and it's been harder for us to find something for to pay our debts, but we do remain committed to that debt nonetheless. Sorry about your aging balance, my friend.
Alrighty. So we'll go to damage control. So you're going to spend the week attempting to negotiate with Corremo to try to have it so the hunters don't take reprisal against you, and perhaps the Haina as well. So for this, it's going to be a willpower save, but if you give me a convincing argument that you can present to Corremo, I'll let you roll twice, and if either of them succeed, you succeed.
Okay.
So I'll describe the scene. At some point, perhaps accompanied by Haklo, One Eye, and Chido Talks Too Much, you head northeast and then directly east to the House of the Last Hopes. Let me reveal this to you. This is what this looks like. It's a little small, but it's like this little hovel by the sea.
Cool.
So I will reveal that on the map. And as you approach, you see this long boardwalk that, or not boardwalk, kind of like a jetty. It's made of stone that sprawls out hundreds of feet out into the ocean, and it's coated by years of barnacle and like brackish tidal leavings. And by the sea, you see a strange hovel of unhewn stone. It has a crumbling thatched roof, and it's home to nesting creatures. You see, like, just various seabirds that have made their nests in the roof. And from this ancient wooden door that stands out front, you see black smoke billowing out, which previously you had seen them smoking from these long pipes. It appears like they're smoking together inside this hut. But as you step inside this ramshackle cottage, these figures, the hunters, they stand taller than any man, and they wear ruined finery. This is what they look like.
So, is it possible I could have found some pipe weed of some sort to bring as like a gesture of good faith?
Sure, yeah. Describe to me your approach to this this cottage. What have you done to ensure this negotiation goes well?
Well, it never hurts to come with a little bit of pipe weed.
A little bit of weed.
I in my back pocket, I'm keeping a pouch of like 10 shillings, separate from my full sack of shillings or whatever, to kind of use as like a gesture of good faith of like, what we're trying. Here's something of substance to actually, cover some of your losses, which I don't really know what that really means, but a gift, if you will. And then if they're still unconvinced, I might rip out some teeth to give as favors, which that's obviously like the extreme. I'd rather not do that, just because like they might be like, whoa, what the fuck is that thing, and attack me or something. But
Okay.
if things are going poorly, I might resort to that.
Yeah, so this is the things you brought at least.
Mm-hmm.
Their hair is black, their eyes are black, and their teeth are black. It appears that whatever they're smoking just blackens their teeth, either from rot or from whatever coats it when they smoke. And they are around a fire in here. And it appears to be a fire-damaged room. Like at one point, either an explosion or a fire overtook this cottage. And they just have filthy cots arranged around them. And they appear to be devising some sort of trap on the floor in front of them. There appears to be like a metal pieces, almost like it looks like a bear trap, but perhaps intended for a human or another target, and like a chain that they're just slowly like crafting link by link around this cottage. You see candles burning upside down, floating in the air around them. And as you approach, one of them turns and turns to a shape in the corner and is like, Bosquimant engaños. And that word, Bosquimant, it's a word that the colonial administrator that you assassinated would use. It's a word in the tongue of Carrion that means bushman. It's a derogatory term for someone from the southern kingdoms. And that's what he calls you, Bosquimant. And you see Corremo walk out from the darkness.
Yeah, I definitely recoil a little bit from that, but like compose myself and like know that I'm kind of working on the defensive and I have to play my cards.
Mm-hmm. And Corremo looks different. You see he steps forward, and at first you think this is a cape that he's wearing, but you see from his back there are these translucent cicada wings that have grown. And he shambles forward, and you see he has his 2 arms and 2 additional vestigial cicada limbs that are sticking out from the side. And you see 2 of them, 2 separate ones, are holding clay pipes with that stuff, that resin in them. And
Hello, Captain. May I fill your pipe? I have brought a few gestures, as we need to talk about our deal.
Very well. Tell the savages to stay outside. I talk to you, and you alone. He's looking at the 2 Haina that you've brought with you.
Yeah, I look at either of them and I just like point outside, and I think they would understand that at that point.
And you see that they're both on edge. They both have their weapons at the ready, but they respond to your command.
My apologies. I should have left them outside.
He takes his clay pipe and he smokes it. He takes his chitinous limb and smokes the other one. And he says, tell me, can you still taste the ash of your humanity? Or has it already burned away? He offers you the other pipe.
I'll pack it with my stuff, not smoking what they're smoking.
Probably a good choice. Yeah, you both start to smoke. And what do you say to him to try to sweeten this deal? If it's good, I'll give you advantage on this roll.
All right. So, Captain, I
Yes.
do come bearing some unfortunate news. 2 of my compatriots, fellow slaves at one point, unfortunately they encountered something that has made them fall ill, and I do not believe that they would be able to get you your what you are owed, your arcanum, in the time that we had previously arranged. I came here today hoping to offer some, perhaps, gifts to extend a bit of leniency and perhaps extend our deadline, as they should be good by the end of the week, hopefully. And I'll take out the pouch of 10 shillings and kind of like plop it on the table in front of him.
Okay. He regards you. And I'll have you make 2 willpower saves for me. If either of them succeed, this is a successful interaction.
Hey.
Nice.
Oh, double
Okay.
winner.
So if both of them succeed, it means like an exceptionally good reaction.
Sick.
So you see he's like getting into his pipe. You don't know whether this has any sort of properties other than like an offshoot of tobacco, but he seems to be like more pleasant when he's smoking it. And he has it in his fingers, and he's sort of playing with it. And he's like, I see your promise as you walk this path. I will be here for you. One more week, and then you bring me my prize. No longer, or we will divert ourselves and come south to that island you call your home. I don't know why you spend so much time with the cockroaches as you do. They have nothing to offer you. As they say, a fly soon becomes the meal to another the longer he stays on his own meal.
Well, I may not need them, but I do see a value in me for them. Said that kind of weird, but you get the point.
What is it that fuels you? Is it the drum of vengeance? Do you wish to kill the governor and become one yourself?
No, I do not have delusions of grandeur. I do not need power. It seems to seek me out. However, these people, they are good-natured, and what they have could be exploited if they are not taught how to defend it. I have been through much, and I know a few things that could help them to not fall to such dark things.
Well, I will tell you. If you ever wish to come to the side of our sainted lady, we will pay handsomely for any of their heads, especially that of their leader, Saith. And he produces this like parchment that appears to have this crude, seemingly exaggerated depiction of Saith on it, printed in woodblock. It's written in some foreign language to you. It seems to be their tongue.
Is it like caricature of his beastly features?
Yes. Yeah, it appears like he has a crocodile head instead of a human head.
No. All right, I don't want to offend him, so I'm just gonna kind of nod my way through. He gave me the extension I was looking for, and I don't want to cause any issues.
You see the paper says, Recompensa. El gobernador oferex una recompensa de 100 shillings per cada salvachat capturat. 2,000 shillings por la captura del Saith. 100 shillings per Haina turned in, and 2,000 shillings for the head of beastly Saith. And he explains this to you. And he's like, I know the allure of gold will get to you eventually. It's just a matter of time. You are a good businessman, you and your friends. You come to make a good impression on me, because you know we could be partners. So I wish to see you the end goal.
It may be something that we have to fall to in the future, if it comes to that. But who knows? could be good to make some money off of the dead. You pay for their skeletons.
We pay for their heads.
Does a skull count?
I like your thinking. You are a hunter in your heart. Your eyes that were once filled with fire are filled with shadow. The same shadows whisper to me, telling me of the darkness in your soul. His face illuminated by this fire in his clay pipe. It will not be long before you crave it too.
I have many cravings. It is up to me not to fall to them. And I'm gonna graciously thank him for the extension and try to kind of shimmy my way out of this interaction.
And at some point, as soon as it starts to become like around dusk, he falls back into some sort of stupor, like he's high. And he's barely, like, he just stops speaking to you. And he just sort of reclines back in his seat. And you see all of the other hunters gather around this fire, and they also smoke themselves in some kind of stupor. And they appear to be inert. But as soon as the moon's rays come through this ramshackle cottage, they get up as though they had come out of a sleep and prepare for their next hunt. And with that, oh, whoops, I copied the wrong thing. You head back to the village, having completed successfully your bargaining with him.
Sick.
And we come back to the village as finally Marcel and Lilyheart are revived. You both come to in these like reed mats next to each other, alone in this. Yeah, feel free to. And the healer is gone, and you just see like loads of what looks like as if human skin had been shed like snake skin, just piles of like this like skin that's been sloughed off your bodies that are resting in piles by both of your mats. But you both get up and turn to each other.
Now, Kith.
I'm gonna let you know that since Remy's dead, I'm gonna transfer my southern accent to not the same
He got sick and he wakes up with a new accent. Hell yeah.
Crazy.
Lilyheart, do you remember what happened? I remember feeling faint, and I made it to the burrow, but I blacked out after, maybe fell in.
I was on a hunting trip with Backara. The last thing I remember was we had just killed our prey and we're going to seek out more. I don't really remember much more beyond that. It's all been a haze since then.
I think Marcel would try to at least gather his belongings, like poke his head out of the hutch to see if anything has changed, or if there's like someone attending to the front of the burrow to see if we're awake.
I would be paying attention to that.
Oh, good. Okay. Sweet.
So I think I don't know about Devars, but I would definitely probably come in if I heard you guys like chit chatting or something.
Yep.
Or is the witch still there?
No,
she's left.
out. The doctor's out.
Got you. Oh, you two are awake. Finally.
Just barely. I mean, we both don't remember much. Can you fill us in? I remember fainting on the way back to the burrow, but that's it.
Yes. Essentially, well, I do not know exactly what caused your illness. You can ask the witch when either she returns or go find her. Whatever it was, there was nothing but a skilled witch healer could possibly do. It's been 1 week since you both fell ill. Yeah, it was not looking good there for a minute. But it seems like you are both been healed by her talents. Just glad to see you both awake.
Thank you, Backara. Do you know where this witch is now? I'm sure that Corremo successfully removed our curse, but do you know if this could be an after effect of that, or just some coincidence that we fell ill shortly
No,
after going to the island?
I believe it had to do with something from the island, a moss or a fungus or something along those lines.
But you and
She was kind of
Devars?
vague. I do. Devas and I were okay. Devas is, well, he's looking a little strange lately, but other than that, his eyes, they're just never seen him looking like that. But otherwise, he is stronger, I guess, than ever. But yes, she did mention something of that vegetation-based poisoning or something like that.
Did she mention if it was a common around here, or
I do not know. We will have to find her, I suppose. Do I remember the last time she was here?
Yeah, you could attempt to find her in the village if you wanted.
All right. But if you guys want me to go looking for her, I can. But you should probably stay and rest just a little more. I guess. I don't know if you're good to go. You just woke up. Your legs have atrophied, I imagine.
that's all fine. What of
Atrophy is very serious.
No, I mean staying in the burrow. What of Corremo?
I was able to extend our deadline with him. He was, I don't know if I would use the term, but now I can't even think of the word.
Plastered. High.
No, I was going to say sympathetic. He was sympathetic to the plight of you two being ill, and I may have bribed him as well. However, we have another week to acquire an Arcanum. I've also spoken to the people of this village, and they are not as big a fans as Arcanum as perhaps we are. So we may want to keep any that we have under wraps, as they may try to take them and destroy them.
I quickly look around for my cloak. Is it still in my belongings?
Yeah, you find it.
Okay, sweet. That's good to know. And
I suppose if
So-
we do not have an Arcanum by next week, you may not have that cloak anymore.
And why are they so suspicious of Arcana?
Their religious beliefs, I suppose. They they do not understand the powers that the Arcanum can imbue this whole village, this whole civilization with. If they used it for the right thing, it could revolutionize certain processes that they do, depending on the outcome, of course.
Are you suggesting we side more with Corremo on this then? To
No,
make
I
sure
think
we're
he's
st-
crazy.
How sharky is if Backara's not
Absolutely
like doesn't
not.
have his shirt off? Is it easy
Yeah, how-
to tell he has the
Oh,
shark
shark
skin? Like
boy,
how
shark
much of
boy.
him is shark?
Oh, 'cause
Uh,
you guys haven't realized.
It's just the shoulder, so it's concealed at the moment. But he could
Okay.
reveal it to you if he took off his shirt.
Alright. I
But
just
we're
wanted to
not
know
going to
because
yet.
yeah, I know Lilyheart would definitely have a reaction if he
Yeah.
saw that.
He's just a shark now.
Corremos, I did go to their hideout, if you will. He appears to be a beastly, just like Safe.
That's.
He
I don't know what
has,
that is, right? Actually, I'm gonna say I have no idea what that is.
Well, I
so
know,
You've seen Safe.
dude.
Yeah, you've seen Safe.
Context clues. The what is it, like a locust scarab or whatever the fuck? That was the item that he ate that we got in the church.
Yeah. It seems like the Arcanum granted him something in return.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But nonetheless, he has extra limbs and wings now. So definitely do not want to be on his bad side. However, not necessarily a fan of his genocidal tendencies. However, we may have a way to get a new economic stimulation in the village.
You see like a furrowed brow on Marcel's face. What do you mean by economic stimulation? I didn't see any monetary items exchanged hands in this island.
So, while I was parlaying, Corremo showed me a bounty, I suppose, on...
I don't know if I like where this is going.
No, neither do I. However, workarounds.
Loophole.
So, yes. So let me start off by saying, I mean, the people of this village, they use 100% of the body, I think. I mean, we've got the bone pickers union is pretty solid.
Bone pickers union.
They're unionized.
100 shillings per head, which is kind of a lot. And we could use the ones who die naturally to stimulate the economy with shilling.
Our economy, to be clear.
Yes, the village's economy. Not, well, I mean, we are of the village.
Stimulate their economy.
I see you're a fan of the trickle-down economics, Caleb.
I'm just trying
Are
to
you
up from the
committing
ground.
bounty fraud?
That's what I was trying to do. But I don't know. It's a possibility. Bounty fraud, why not? They're... Take down the colonialists in any way that you can. 1 shilling at a time. One dead person's skull at a time.
And you would trust Corremo to not notice that we bring him the skull of...
He didn't really seem to be that opposed to my statement. So, I mean, I don't know if he's the one who would pay it out, or if we'd have to, deliver to... Or perhaps we will give them to him, and he will give us a cut, like 50%. So we get like 50 shillings, and he gets 50 shillings. And then we mesh it like that, and then it's, he's gonna buy that they're real. He's getting.
I think we've
50%
discovered the real objective of this campaign.
money laundering.
Bounty fraud.
Why are these four newcomers, why do they have the best root burrows out of the entire village?
No, we will. Of course, the funds will go directly into the Bone Pickers Union. They will be collecting the skulls.
The Phone
What-
Pickers
question-
Union. I
Question
can't.
for you,
I
Bakara.
can't.
What
That's
has
really
changed-
money laundering then, if we just
Yeah.
increase the amount of steps.
What has changed in the past week we've been ill that you've taken such a liking to the populace here? My
It
understanding
seems
is
like
we-
they've taken a liking to us as well.
Yes,
I don't
they,
recall doing anything that would warrant them putting so much effort into healing us.
And then you're gonna see Bakara's eyes like light up, and as he makes the realization that neither of you have been like conscious for his shark skin beastliness, nor are you aware of his ability.
Yeah,
to...
that happened as I was on the way to
Shark
the burrow, and then I passed out.
Yeah. As he's like, oh, one second.
I'm a shark.
And he just like takes off his like outer coat, like he still has like an undershirt on, but his shoulders like exposed. It's just like this like silver gray fish skin, shark skin, I guess. They view this as a sign of power and responsibility, and because you guys with me, I was able to kind of extend it into acceptance of you, if you will.
Well, what the fuck is it? Your
What do
skin
you
is...
seen Beastly Saith's arms? Well, it's one arm. It's just one crocodile arm, right?
Yeah.
One. I'm imagining
was-
like how short crocodile legs are.
It's a baby crocodile's arm.
little fucking tiny little arm.
He was involved in an accident. That's what caused that. Actually, there's a feast for you guys like today.
That is true.
They want to throw a feast in my honor as the second Beastly to grace their village. I've tried to really keep it as humble as possible, but they are a persistent folk.
Not to rain on anyone's feast, I guess, but what are our long-term plans here? Yes, they've accepted us, but are we just hiding from the Dutch East India Company here? Or
Well,
like, there's
I-
places
you know-
we were planning to go. This was just the best option at the time.
yes. Well, the way I look at it, I thought you guys were dead. So, I was hoping, but I had kind of moved on. With what I was up to. So, I mean, for me, I would like to get us fully free of our debts. But I do feel semi-indebted to these people, as they have not only kept you alive,
They've shown
but they've
generous
shown
kindnesses.
much generosity and kindness. I mean, they even gave me my own foot soldiers. I have two of them. One's a little annoying. He doesn't shut
4
up.
feet total.
Uh,
So
but it is
plan
also
is
a safe place for us to stay.
we appease Corremo with one arcanum each, and we're free.
We only need one more arcanum to appease our debt to him. After that, we can. He seems open to many business relationships. Perhaps he could fund our journeys out further onto the island. I don't know exactly, but for me right now, I am focused on aiding this community in the defense and the protection against the company.
And from that proposition that Corremo gave you, it seems like he does not take a liking to these folk here, but have you investigated what these villagers think of Corremo? Is it mutually hostile?
I do not know if I actually viewed Karemo's opinion as hostile so much as
He
there
gave
is
you
money
it,
in it.
correct, but that would imply that he is paying folk to kill these people.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if
Yep.
it's him directly paying so much as it's the company's policy. But I mean, I guess it's possible. I guess I could have misinterpreted his general malevolence for just he's just generally would kill anything is kind of how I view him, whether it's these people or not. I feel like that would be more of just like the money's the money. I'll kill whatever. Versus like directly, I hate these people for being these people. But I guess perhaps a misunderstanding.
Well, you've given us a lot to think about, Backara. Perhaps we should get ready for this feast. I need to get up and about and stretch out my legs anyways. It's been quite a week, apparently.
Yes. You should get more acquainted with the town. We also do have a better... We're like in a med bay or something, right? Not like our own...
A med burrow.
No, you guys are in your own root burrow.
okay. This is like the better one they gave me?
No, that's you have your own now across the
a root trunk.
Sorry, you
instead of a
poor
burrow.
bitches.
Yeah, you're actually not in the roots. You have this like basically a tree bungalow
Oh, get fucked, you guys.
that you can go in. Haklo and Chido both live there as well. But yeah, I'm gonna have two things here before we wrap up for this session. First, I'm gonna make a luck roll. I don't know how the tribe is gonna react to Emathla going missing.
So, could someone explain this again? So, what happened to Emathla? Who killed that person?
So
Emathla killed
Devars.
himself so that Devars could take his power.
I see. Okay, I do slightly remember that.
No,
being in
that's
that.
not what actually
You
happened.
asked, that's what I told you.
Okay.
Are you Ryan
Well,
asking?
No. Okay, actually, that was Ryan asking, but I think it'll be more fun role playing if I have no idea what the fuck happened.
That's
So
true.
Let's do that. We'll keep it at that. So yeah.
That's true. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna take us back to the hex map so you can see the luck roll rules. I want to make a d6 roll. Obviously, there is a crisis, a problem, and a blessing. Crisis is going to be he is immediately arrested by the Haina and
Who's he?
Devars, and he is either going to be executed or exiled. One of the two.
It's gonna be funny because we're like, it's gonna be bad. He's gonna be executed. We're gonna have to bust him out and then get exiled from this place that is about to honor us.
Yeah. If it's a problem, people are going to be suspicious of you guys. They saw Emathla going off to the woods with two of you, and he disappeared. It's suspicious. He hasn't come back in a week, which is a little suspicious. And a blessing is
nobody asked us like right off the bat.
well, a blessing is like he might be someone on the fringes of Haina society that doesn't have family members, that doesn't have like a wife or kids, and that maybe is a bit strange. So a week passing by and no one talking to him might not be unusual. So as sad as it is, people might not notice it as much if he goes missing.
How integral to society was Emathla?
He was the mask maker. So he carved protective masks for people. They basically have a belief that if you go out at night, you should be wearing a mask to ward away spirits. Is their view of things. And
It's always Hallows Eve.
yeah, it's always Halloween. It's always a spooktacular here.
We're in Halloween Town.
So I'm gonna roll d6.
Halloween.
Let's let the dice decide what happens.
Oh baby.
Oh my! That's insane.
Devarce is going to die.
Oh fuck! Let's go! Interesting campaign.
So-
Scheming.
So you guys realize you haven't seen Devarce in a day.
Oh, he's
Well,
already
if
dead.
it isn't the consequences of my actions.
And as soon as you exit, instead of seeing a party arranged for all of you, you see all of the tribe gathered outside your root burrow.
Oh.
You see Devarce seems to have been beaten and brutalized.
Oh no.
There's blood coursing down from his head, and he is bound by ropes. And you see two sawtooth sons that are holding him up. And
Oh
you see,
man, this is going to be such a diplomatic issue.
and you see Saith step forward. And he's like, "How could you have done this to us, Backara? I had trust in you and your people, and you betrayed us."
I did no such thing. What seems to be the issue? Let's not let our tempers get the best of us. What has happened? What is going on?
I feel like there's a willpower check in here. It's like
There-
an insight type deal going on.
There will be, for sure.
Oh no.
He says, "You've killed him, Emathla, a member of our tribe. What madness possessed you to strike him down? An integral member of our tribe, a treasured elder. Make me understand, so I don't kill your friend here and now for this treachery."
Okay, I understand. I guess I misunderstood before. However, when Emathla, myself, and Devarce went off to the this is like a sanctuary. We went to the sanctuary, and Emathla and Devarce. We know Emathla was the keeper of the flame, yes? Everyone knows that? Emathla was explaining that there can only be one keeper of the flame. And someone's ringing my doorbell. And Emathla seemed to have chosen Devarce to take over this position. I did not fully understand what they were talking about. I wasn't paying much attention, as I was far more focused on what Sawtooth Sukasi had to impart unto me. However, when we were leaving, before I begun to start my journey to leave, I went to go see what they were up to, and I saw Emathla throw himself onto a massive fire that they had been working on. They had been exchanging ideas over this kept fire that he was training Devarce on how to control the fire. And in a moment, he was burnt to a crisp. He sacrificed himself to turn Devarce into the keeper of the fire.
Okay. Alvi, make an extremely important willpower save. I'm not going to give you advantage because you're not only lying, you're using Devars's lie to try to sell this. So you're not going to be able to spin it in a way that comes from the heart. You're fully lying to him.
Oh, I mean, this was the idea that Backara told to Devars, not the other way around.
Oh yeah, but like, I can only imagine this must make Backara feel extremely guilty for lying at this stage, at this level. So why don't you make a willpower save to try to sell the story to them? Nice.
Dude, how are you? I don't think I've succeeded once in this.
Not only does he have
What
crazy stats, but he also has crazy rolls. He doesn't even need the high stats.
I'm out of breath. That was terrifying.
Okay. Saith considers your words. This is a grievous crime that has been committed. This is murder of one of the Haina. And he considers this for a long beat. And he says, "What he has done cannot be undone. He has spilled blood under false visions. We cannot return Emathla's life, but we have the choice of how to respond. We are not monsters like those who dwell in the shadows of this island. We do not kill without cause. Exile. He shall wander the land as a shadow, far from the fire's warmth.
Who will keep your fire?
Another of our number. He shall be judged by the spirits of the wild, for it is among the wild that he shall live." He turns to the guards. Exile him. And that's where we leave off.
Terrifying.
R.I.P. Divorce. Well, have fun,
Yeah,
Divorce.
really.